Welcome to Live Edge, episode number next. I'm Matt.
I'm Amy.
Welcome to the show. On this episode, we're going to talk about the real talk about growing a woodworking business, like serious stuff. Like
Those of you that was with us last week, we are so sorry about the internet.
We're sorry.
We're hoping that it holds up tonight.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We
had
did
it
have
worked on.
We did have it worked on. They put a new cable in, so we'll see what happens.
So here's to having the internet tonight.
All right, so we started a brand new community and course to build woodworking businesses, and I'm going to talk about some of the topics we've been talking about in that course, some of the main things people are having trouble with. Well, if you want to know more about it, you can just go to sawduststartups.com. Now, one main thing a lot of people struggle with is time management. I struggle with it to this day. She struggles with it. Everybody struggles with time management. And one thing that was suggested today in our group coaching call was to block or write down your day. Take a book with you, write down your day. Every time you spend 20, 30 minutes on something, write that down. Take a note card, a notebook, whatever you need to do, and say, okay, I spent an hour going through my emails. I spent 8 hours at work, because you're there for 8 hours. I spent an hour at lunch, but how long did you spend eating? And are you socializing at lunch? Or are you eating by yourself? Like stuff like that matters. So write everything down. When you come home at night, write down how long you watch TV, all this stuff. Then at the end of that day, you go back and look at that day and be like, oh man, at lunch, I wasted 45 minutes scrolling on my phone when I could have been reading a book about my business or trying to learn more things like that.
Greg.
See, Greg? But yeah, there's little bitty nuggets like that. And then when you start thinking about time management, a lot of people say, well, I work a full-time job and I have kids and I have a family, right? A wife or husband, and you're trying to kind of balance all of that stuff. And we've talked about this a lot is sometimes you have to have that conversation with your spouse and say, look, this week I got a lot of orders and I'm going to need to work in the shop. What would be best for you? When's the best time I could get in there and work this amount of time? That's one thing that really helped too.
Damon asked this. He said, what if you don't even have time to write it down? He said, asking for a friend, because that people who tend to be extremely busy during the day, that's a real thing. It does take time to sit down and write that down. So that is taking time.
You can use this little dude and dictate a note.
It takes 30 days or so, almost 30 days to create a habit.
Yeah.
Just really quick in your phone or somewhere wherever you can keep up with it the fastest, just jot it down really fast. But I totally get that. Sometimes you feel so busy that even taking that notation seems to take too much time out of the way, but just try it for a little bit to see what happens.
All right. Cody Blankenship says, how much money would you say it would take to get started, to start a business woodworking? I started with $100.
Yes.
I went and borrowed a circular saw from my dad, 2 drills from my father-in-law, and had $100. I got a $100 check in the mail or in the bank. And I took that $100 and I went to the store and bought some 2x4s, wood, and screws, 2x4s, glue, and screws. And I come home and made an outdoor chair set. I posted those for sale. She staged them up for me, made them look real pretty. We've sold those, and then that's how it all started. And from that day, we've just used the profits to put back in the business to grow the business. And so you literally don't, and it only, of that $100, I actually only used about 50 or 60 to buy lumber and material with.
But you also have to think you were able to borrow stuff. What if somebody's not? So not everybody's story is going to be exactly the same.
You can buy used tools. You literally need a way to cut the wood and put the wood together. That's kind of the way I always say it. So a circular saw and a drill, and you can build a ton of stuff. Like there's a bunch of options for minimal tools. You don't have to have a shop full of tools. I didn't have it. A lot of people don't have it when they first start. But you just use what you got to build what you can and go from there. You don't need a lot of money.
Damon said, to quote Brother Riv, to become a millionaire by woodworking, start out a billionaire.
That's right.
That, and that's kind of the running joke with woodworkers, because it does seem like you have to have so much to get started. And a lot of people feel like that he's kind of left beginners behind because he does have a lot more now than he had when he started. But he still started out with basics and maybe not even good basics.
No, they were not great.
Maybe
tools.
not even all of the basics he needed, but he made do with what he had. And so I think that's why I don't feel like he's left people behind, because he still remembers what it took to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, it's not easy. Like,
It's not.
starting with barely anything and trying to scrap your way up, it's not easy, but I wouldn't trade it for anything because you learn so much by not having anything, because
Small
you learn how to
Caliber on here is a perfect example. He says, "Hey, Matt, I'm a 14-year-old woodworker that started about a year ago. You've taught me so much. I just wanted to thank you." 14 years old.
Yep.
And he's starting.
Yep, that's right. That's awesome. You just don't. You just start what you got. Like, just start what you got. And what do you build? That's one of the main questions that come up in our community a lot. Is, what do I build, and where do I sell it? You build, like, this time of year. It's perfect time of year to build outdoor stuff. That's how I started. Literally started in February, so just a month ago. In 2017 is when we started. I started with outdoor chairs. Those turned into outdoor benches, and I've sold a bunch of outdoor products over the years. I know 4321's in the chat here. He sells planters during this time of year. He sold a bunch of those, and so you really focus on, because especially in the South, people like to get outside in the this time of the year when it's starting to warm up, and you're starting to do more outdoor activities. So people are starting to look for those type products. But sometimes it takes a little trial and error to figure out what's going to work, because not everything we built worked. So sometimes I've had stuff here that didn't sell, like, for a while. Like, it would just take longer than others. And then where to sell, post on Facebook, ask friends and family. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was, if you're not telling people you're selling something, they're not going to know. And so tell people this stuff is for sale. I'm making this stuff. And then word of mouth is really, really powerful. That when you start making and selling products, like, people will start asking where they got that product, and they'll share it with their other people and ask them to share. Hey, when you get home, if you're pleased with this product, put a picture on Facebook and let people know where you got it. That stuff drives sales.
Ron's Woodcheck says, "You don't need a bunch of fancy tools to make awesome projects. I do it all the time." Cody Blankenship said that he doesn't even bother with brands. He looks at Harbor Freight and looks at what he can afford and does that. So he says, if it's cheap, I'll use it. So you don't have to have anything fancy. Somebody else, it may have been Cody also, that said, it was Not Bored Woodworking, said that he wished he had started when he was 14. But you don't have to have the best of the best of the best to get started on it. I think you just need the desire.
Yeah, it has that want to.
You got to have that want to. And his want to may be completely different than, what yours is.
Everybody's different.
Yeah. His was, he was tired of being broke, and
just want a little extra spending cash.
He honestly, one of the things he talked about more than anything else was he wanted to take me on a date. That's what he always said. He's like, I got so tired of not having enough money in the bank to ask my wife on a date. And so that was one of his.
It's one of the driving factors.
One of the driving factors.
And it goes back to this. You got to know your why. Like, why are you doing it?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't.
I know. And that wasn't the only why, but it was one of the whys. It
was one of the ones that got you moving.
And so, finding your why on what's the purpose of this thing I'm trying to do, whether that be take it full time or just be part time and have an extra spending cash, or maybe you just like building stuff and you don't have any place to store it and you want to sell it and make a little extra money to buy some tools. That's okay too.
Well, and your reason for starting changed because his why became something else. Once he saw that he could possibly turn this into a business, that's when you changed. That's when everything became different. Hey.
Jackie Dillard says, put a show together using only a skill saw and a drill for us newbies. I did. We literally took a circular saw and a drill, a square and a tape measure and some wood glue, and that's all I had. I went to Home Depot parking lot and built an outdoor chair. It's on the channel. You can search it.
Don't make noises.
The A word in there is talking to us.
The Alexa's in there telling us something is 600 and something miles away.
There's no telling what it heard. No, you can come over here.
I don't know what
Also, one good tip on if you're trying to sell stuff and you kind of look at the landscape and you're like, man, there's so many people selling this stuff. How can you be different? How can you differentiate yourself from people in your area, whether that be using higher quality woods, or if you don't have the budget for higher quality woods, how can you make your product stand out? One of the things we did was we painted them different colors. There was what was that? Like a lavender blue color thing. We painted some outdoor chairs just to make them kind of pop and stand out a little bit. So you can use different colors. And one thing that nobody was doing around here when we started doing it was on the farmhouse furniture was staining the top and painting the base.
Oh
Everybody
my
would stain the
gosh.
whole thing.
They loved it. People
And
love
when
the
you put those
two-tone.
two contrasting colors together, it hit. People liked it because it was different. So if there's a way, even just changing the colors up and things, you can make things different. And now a lot of people have lasers and CNCs. If you have that available, then you're able to add customization, so you can separate yourself like that.
Yes, this is our new chat dog in the lap. This is Coda.
That's
He's our
Coda.
oldest dog.
He's our eldest.
He's a senior dog. He's only got some teeth in the back. He's missing all his front teeth, and his little tongue hangs out all the time.
He's a good snuggler. Yeah, Joe, he's a Niggy. That's right.
Yeah, he's Niggy.
We got two of them, actually.
Yeah, we have him and a girl.
Yep.
This one right here is a lover. He wants to be loved on. He wants to hug loudly.
His nickname is Dr. Snuggles.
Yeah, we call him Dr. Snuggles.
Because he likes to snuggle.
Mm-hmm.
You hear him,
yeah, if y'all hear the noise in the mic, I'm sorry. That's his hugging noise.
One thing on building a business, I think a lot of people, even myself, and you just forget or you don't think about it is, I don't know who's quoted this, but I'm going to quote it. Success is the sum of all the small efforts. We forget that when you're building a business, you think about building a project, building a wall, like everything is built little by little. Businesses are the same way. And success is the same way. And people see success in different ways. Some people see success as I'm not successful until I go full time. Some people say I'm not successful until I make my first $1,000 or my first $4,000 or $5,000. There's different ways to measure success. And sometimes success is just, I learned how to make a new project. That was a success.
Here's a success. I love your name. Jiggle Biscuit.
Hey, Jiggle Biscuit.
Jiggle Biscuit said, woodworking helped me kick a bad addiction of alcohol.
Awesome.
I was in a bad way and found my passion. I'm now 6 years sober and loving life and have gotten pretty good in the shop. Thanks for the great content.
That's awesome, man.
That's success right there.
I like it.
Success in the shop, I've learned, is it could be something as small as, I don't know, getting something for me. When I did sand, getting something sanded and not having any of the really bad swirls. Like
small
that
wins.
was small wins. You know, that was a win for me. When we were doing the painting and stuff and we didn't have any runs anywhere, that was a win for me.
Yep.
He had the sprayer and stuff. He did better. But for me, like, celebrate the small stuff too.
Michael Mason says, I'm looking to update my planner. Would $700 for the 735 with Sheelix cutters be a price that you'd highlight? I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, that's a good sale. That's a good deal. If it's got the Sheelix head in it, that's a real good deal. Show right.
Okay.
Acrylic memory Shape Foco 5 Pro's on its way. Good job. Congrats.
It says nice job, Jiggles. I like that.
One thing I think a lot of people struggle with, and it kind of goes back, well, when you're first starting especially, and even today, a lot of stuff I struggle with this too, is like believing in yourself. Like we all struggle with this part where you're like, you don't feel like you're good enough or your product's not good enough, or maybe what if I sell it and it breaks, or what if I sell it and they don't like it, or they tell me like, look at that crack. Why didn't you fix that crack? They were going to point their flaws out. And we see the flaw, and the people 99% of the time that you sell things to never see it because you built it. You know where every tiny piece on there is not right. We're not perfect. And then you're going to worry about those people kind of pointing that out. But I've learned over the years that people don't see that. They just don't. And maybe they notice it, maybe they don't, but you got to put yourself out there and just get started, or you're not ever going to go anywhere.
Did you see what best YouTuber none greater #1 said
about
the coffee sign? Okay. He said, for example, coffee sign can be harder to make and harder to sell than a K-cup holder or mug shelf. Functional is greater than decorative.
It's true.
So that's definitely something you need to look into trends and try not to exclude large groups from some of the stuff. But also, a lot of people like K-cup holders. It's functional. It's something that can solve a problem, right?
Yep.
So it's easier to sell stuff if it can solve some type of problem versus just being decorative. You're always going to be able to sell your decorative stuff to certain people, but if you can solve a problem and it look nice,
Yeah, that's
then
when you'll hit pay
that's
dirt.
when it's even better. Yeah.
Because that's how we kind of struck gold in theory, I guess, is on with the stove covers.
Yeah.
They were different.
Mm-hmm.
They looked really nice, and they solved a problem. In case y'all don't know, a lot of people don't cook. They don't, and so their stove is just there, and so they want something to set on it to put decorations on or just extra storage space or whatever. And so those things took off for us because, and that's like, I would always give them the warning. I was like, hey, make sure you don't turn your stove on. Don't make sure you don't set this on there hot.
But we worried about that too.
We did.
We were like, what if somebody doesn't?
Yeah.
But
they're like, we don't use the stove.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Cody said, let's see. It will be a long time before I can even think of affording a machine style planer. So for when I can afford a hand planer, what should I look for? This is Cody asking.
Hand or electric?
Let's celebrate Stephen Kofed. He's been a member of our One Before Supporter Club for 35 months and said, parade your products around town. Yes, parade your products around town. We'll tell you the story of that. Let's
Super chat.
Thank you, Richie N25 says, thanks for all the inspiration. I started 9 months ago and hoping to start my own LLC.
It's awesome.
Been making a lot of cedar planters and smaller stuff. That's awesome. And it's the right time of the year for
and
those.
I like that hat. I like that.
Yeah. So parade your products around town. We had the Rotens on here a good while back. And that was one of the things that I took away from something, from all the stuff that they talked about. We've met them several times now, and it still amazes me that they will take a sign and literally walk around the store with it. They'll take one of their signs.
I saw them do it.
Yeah. Just on the off chance that somebody says, hey, that sign's cool. Where'd you get it from? And they're like, well.
They did it at Vegas, remember?
Yeah.
At the AWFS fair.
Mm-hmm.
They were walking around with their sign. Thought that was super cool.
There's no shame in it.
Cody, hand planes, I'm not your guy, man. I'm sorry. I'd love to help you. Maybe somebody in the chat can.
Somebody in the chat.
I'm not a hand tool. I like power tools. So I have a small hand plane, but I don't use that thing. I'd love to help you.
Richie said he's a Texan, so he's got to have his hat. He's been talking about getting one.
I'd like to have one. Man.
I don't know if I can handle him in a hat. He's already goofy. That's all he would ever do. He would walk around the corner and go, like Woody on Toy Story. Yeah, see? Or,
I already got the cowboy boots.
All the time.
Wear boots every day. They're right here. I love my boots. They're awesome. They are.
Y'all have no idea what it's like.
That's hilarious.
Gary Reynolds says, aren't y'all moving soon?
Well, we don't know.
Well, we are.
Maybe.
No. Moving to a different house.
So
it just may be here.
Yeah. So we're kind of kicking around. We don't know. We really love Nashville. We want to move there. Every time we go there, it feels like home. But then we think about we're only there for 3-4 days. And then we come back home and all of our kids are here. They're all grown.
And they're all
here. They're starting to really get serious relationships. Probably going to be married in the next year or so, both of them, the older two. And then the grandkids are going to come. And do we want to be 6 hours away from all of that? That's tough. We don't know. Because if we move 6 hours away, then we're 6 hours away all the time. And if we're here and we want to go 6 hours away to get away from all these people, we can do that. You know what I mean?
There's empty lots beside us, and our oldest son wants to buy our house. And so we're thinking about building a new house for us that would fit our needs and a shop that would fit his needs. And then we would be right here together. Yep.
So. Julie Wells says, what should I look for in buying a used table saw? I would make sure it's got a good fence on it and it's not like rickety. If you move the fence and it's all wobbly like that, you don't want that. When you lock that fence down, when you move it, it can have a little slack in it. When you lock it down, it needs to be rigid and not move. Like some of the newer table saws, newer table saws would probably be better. DeWalt makes a really good saw. Delta, that style, it just depends on who you're looking at. And if it's a really old table saw, some of the older ones are really fantastic, and then some of them are not so great. So it's kind of hard to know what it's like, but make sure it powers on, obviously, and everything's working on it. But that's what I'd be looking for. Mainly the fence.
AB, thank you for stopping by and saying hello.
Thank
He
you, AB.
says much love. And then also Madness Works. I get it, WRX. Madness Works said just wanted to stop in and say hi. I always watch about an hour after your live ends because everyone goes to bed. Catch y'all on the replay.
All right, man. Thank you.
That's cool.
One thing I do want to mention, if you're building trying to start your woodworking business or you got it going, I want to talk about just a brief moment. We did start a community. It's called Sawdust Startups, sawduststartups.com. And I want to show it to you. Last week, the stream crashed on us. So we were we got cut short.
Didn't really get to show it to you.
So this is our community. Once you join, it is a paid membership. Monthly membership. We're giving 20% off until the end of March 2024, and then it goes to regular price. There's a community here where you can get your questions answered, and everybody in this community is like-minded. They're all building a woodworking business, so everybody's here to help everybody. We do a group coaching call twice a week or twice a month, once every 2 weeks, and there's a calendar that tells when it is. We have one today. And then there's a classroom section, and the classroom session really dives deep into what we've had success with and some of our mistakes we made, kind of teach you not to make the same mistakes, how to brand your business, how to price your products, how to take photos of your products so that they sell. If you want to set up an Etsy store, how to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Like, this is a deep dive course. And then there's also motivational stuff in there for those that, like me, that struggle with fear of failure and if you're not good enough, et cetera. Like, there's a lot of that content in there, and we're just adding to this constantly. It's going to be something that we're going to add content to. Go to sawduststartups.com to learn more, but we're trying to add more and more content on there. We're actually working on a new module for the course right now for social media. So growing a YouTube channel, growing Instagram, and how to not just because you want to be a YouTuber, but how to leverage that to drive traffic to your products on your website or your Etsy store. It's kind of the idea behind the Instagram stuff. Not so you can grow a massive following, but if you want to, like, there's tips and tricks in there on how we've been able to leverage those to grow. So if you're interested, go check us out, sawduststartups.com.
Norm Sandy, I wanted to respond to her. She's talking to you. She says, no, Caps, to you. You don't want to move away from your grandkids. She said that her life revolves around grandkids. Best time of my life.
I know.
That's part. So everybody's been, asking us when we were getting ready to move, and I knew things were starting to get real because our son's fixing to graduate college, and that was our time frame. And I started, literally, I think my heart started hurting because I started thinking about the idea of leaving all three of our kids, because our youngest son now has decided to go into education in the master's program here. So we would literally be leaving all three of our kids, and I haven't been away from my kids since the day I became a mom. Yeah. So I don't know what to do with that. So.
Grant Butler says, would you recommend Sawdust Startups if it's not woodworking? Yes, I actually would, because all of the same things are going to apply to growing a business. There are some woodworking specific stuff in there, and there's a money back guarantee for the first 30 days. If you jump in there and you go through the course and you're like, it doesn't really help me out much, you can get a full refund, man. We'll give you a refund, no questions asked.
Super chat. Thank you, Stephen Kofed says blessings to all.
Thank you, man.
Michelle Cochelle said got her package this week. Thank you. Love the products, and the texture on the tablet is cool with a no slip grip.
Nice.
Look forward to getting in the new courses. That's awesome, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you.
She's our Georgia peach.
Yes, she is. I hope we see you at, I don't know, maybe a drive for you at the Tools and Tailgates in Nashville.
Maybe. She came one other time.
We're going to Atlanta in August, so we may schedule one for August.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be in Atlanta for IWF.
We're really talking about doing a Tools and Tailgate while we're there.
Some of these folks watching may not know what Tools and Tailgates is.
Tools and Tailgates is awesome.
So we're going to be going around, I guess, the country. We're on tour. I don't know what to call it. We just want to hang out with you guys.
It's a Tools and Tailgates tour. It's what we're calling it.
The reason we're calling it Tools and Tailgates is kind of like tailgating, but for woodworkers, right? So we're bringing I don't know if we'll bring it, but we'll have tailgate style games there. It's all family friendly, so we can leave off the drinking. There's no drinking at this tailgate. But we're typically doing it like in Nashville, April 27th from 10 a.m.
In Franklin Woodcraft.
In Franklin Woodcraft from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the first one. And we'll have tailgate games. We're going to have food. And we're also going to be giving away tools.
We are giving away all kinds of stuff.
It's probably going to be some big stuff. So,
yes.
and so far we've got no sponsors
Awesome,
helping us with this or anything like that. We just want to give back. It's one of those ways we're giving back. So if you want to come out, we're going to be in.
We want to fellowship with you guys.
Exactly. And then we're also going to be in Kansas City in June, and then in Houston in September. And then we may add a couple of more locations.
We are coming to California. OU2 in California. Yet. We just don't have the date yet.
Is Los Angeles SoCal, or is that not far enough? That's probably where we're going to be. David Knoll, maybe. I'm trying to get SawStop to let me come up there.
Yeah.
Or Grizzly. They got a location there.
I don't know how many we can get in this year. East Tennessee. Come to East Tennessee.
I would love to go to East Tennessee. They say it's pretty.
Yep. Can I win if I'm there in spirit? Mad Dog wants to know. Pittsburgh. We want to come to so many different places. There's so many out there. We want to be able to come back to Colorado. I know Mr. Clark has told us that he could help us with somebody to host us there and everything. It's just so hard to it. I know it's hard to even put it in words. For us to be able to leave and go do something for a few days, it's insane on him because he has so much going on. He does way more than I do for the business.
No, you do a lot.
So Wisconsin would be cool to come to.
Jason, it's going to be the last week in June. We'll have a specific date as it gets closer. After this first Tools and Tailgates, we're going to learn a lot. You're the beta testers if you come to the first one, because we're going to kind of figure out what we're going to do. Kind of got an idea of do like a tournament style cornhole board, and then the winner will get a nice prize or a prize package or something like that. But there'll be smaller prizes given out as well. Kind of the idea like
David, it's April 27th.
Yeah, April 27th.
At Woodcraft and Franklin. Kenneth, New York is not a no.
No, we love New York.
We are trying to figure the New York thing out because it's every part of we've only been to one area of New York, and it was so busy that I couldn't see where we would ever be able to stand somewhere with more than 2 or 3 woodworkers. So it would be one of those things. We'd have to have some help with a lot of help with that one. Tom, we want to come to Vegas and do one too.
Yeah, I love Vegas too.
I know LA is sort of close to Vegas.
The happening is around Vegas. I'm not really into like gambling and stuff, but the food is awesome. They got some really good food.
There's
Canada. I would love to come to Canada.
We definitely want to come. But I mean, it's just, we want to go to, Michelle.
Good. We'll meet up with you and see you there.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know if they could win in spirit. Maybe not for Tools and Tailgates, but if you're a 2 Before Nation member, there's details in the description. We're fixing to have a big giveaway for our members only. We give away quarterly, like the tools you see on the channel. We buy 99% of those. And then even some that are given to us, like Ryobi and Rigid send us tools and stuff like that. So like I've got like 4 or 5 track saws I'm going to give away. We're talking about DeWalt, Skill, Win. I got a Milwaukee table saw with the battery and the charger. There's some really nice tools in the package we'll be giving away for a 2 Before Nation member. So if you are a 2 Before Nation member, be looking for that later this week. I'm going to make that post. You'll be able to enter that giveaway.
Norm, Sandy, I think New Jersey would be super cool to come to.
Yeah, I do too.
I want to go to New Jersey because isn't that where the
New
original
Buddies.
Carlos?
Yeah, Carlos Bakery.
Carlos's Bakery.
It's in Hoboken.
Hoboken, yeah. New Jersey looks cool on TV.
It does.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Uncle Greg had to get off here early tonight, so he's not even getting to see you.
All right, so we have a Facebook community, facebook.com/group/731 Woodworks. We pick a sawdust spotlight out there every week. And this week I chose Alan Santos.
I loved what he said about the walnut.
Well, he had made another post later on where he showed there was another one that he had multiple different versions of this. That for a dog bowl holder, that's above and beyond. That's beautiful.
I think it's cool.
I love that. So that's our sawdust spotlight.
Yeah, go check his stuff out in there because he made them out of different types of wood.
All types of woods.
And they're so cool looking. I like that one though.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
that was really pretty.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool.
Come
let's
on
see.
over here. God is good said this dog grows hair faster than any dog he's ever seen in his life.
Oh my gosh. She needs a haircut again. And I've been wanting to let her get fluffy like the teddy bear cut next time. So I'm fixing to make her an appointment. I think she's long enough now.
Yep.
Yeah, Stephen, that's Mia. He said, Mia. Thank you, Grant. She is a pretty little thing. She is. Oh, wait. Grant may have been talking about the dog bowl. I took it for Mia. Sorry. Mia's beautiful, too. You showing those?
Yeah, I was going to do mail call here.
You ready?
Yeah, mail call. This is from
we missed some stuff from last week.
DLW Consulting and Investigations, Mr. Darren. Darren Wyatt, I believe it is. Anyway, he works for Laguna Police Department. He sent me some awesome patches. Check that out. Those are pretty cool.
Those are cool.
Go in my little collection and some coins to go back in my collection. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Project Toyota. Been a member of our One Before Supporter Club for 29 months. He says, thanks for the stream tonight.
Appreciate you. Also,
what? Hey.
What's up?
You know what time it is?
Power tip time. Power tip is don't stop believing. You can hear that song in your head now. Don't stop believing in yourself. So if you have never sold anything before, make it a goal and a mission, and you've been wanting to do it. I'm not telling you to do it if you don't. If you've been wanting to do that, build something and sell it by the end of March. You got 2.5 weeks. Make that your goal. Write it down somewhere. April 1st, I will post my first product for sale. And then after you sell that first product, you're going to gain a lot of experience and knowledge. Believe in yourself that you can do this and that it's something that's possible for you, because I'm telling you, it could change your life. It could literally change your life on how you do things. Not just financially. You may not become a millionaire doing it, but if you're selling your own stuff and you're making a little extra money, maybe you can take your wife on a date. Maybe you can buy that tool you wanted. Maybe you can just start selling stuff and start getting more experience building stuff and just get more peace in the shop, because a lot of times woodworking is therapy for a lot of us. So that's another good benefit of it. Yeah. All right. This is from Kevin Smith. He sent us a whole gift bag. Thank you, Kevin.
We also got some really cool stuff from Randy Rawls.
Yep. And she's already hung it up in the house.
I know. I've already put it up, so I'll have to get it back down. We were showing it last week.
Trivet.
That is a super good,
super
cool one.
And then a bookmark. Got a couple bookmarks in here. These are those that's got those burnings in there like they do the electrical things. Those are really, really cool. And then there's some book holders. Those are really nice too. Mm-hmm. And this was a what was that for? Candle holder thing? Soap holder. Right?
Yeah, I think so. All right.
Let me read this. Salt and pepper holder.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you told me. Cool. You told me it was a soap holder.
I didn't read. Salt and pepper holder. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that's him. Oh my goodness. Randy Ross made us some Nashville stuff. One's on the wall over there. And then a cutting board.
Or a charcuterie board.
That's super cool. Like the shape of it is
really
so super cool. We'll have to take pictures of some of the other stuff. And we'll have to, and a Miss 730. He made me a little Miss 731 tag.
Sure did.
Super cool. And then an Easter where the stone is rolled away.
Yeah,
that we have
really cool.
That we have displayed. So we'll have to get all that out.
And last week we launched Faith Valley Tools. Give you a little update on that. FaithValleyTools.com is live now.
Yes,
you can go check it out if you want to. And it's our own tool company. And our idea is to change the world with a tool company. That's kind of what we want to do, or change somebody's world anyway.
And so, some people say, well, you don't really have tools on there yet.
We're starting.
We're just now starting.
It's like when we started our own business. I started with one product, right? I started with the outdoor chair set. It's kind of the same idea. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so we've got other stuff coming or in ideas or in the works and other things that are on the way. It's just going to take time. And so we're starting small. We hope to be big one day. But I still think we can make a difference.
Somebody says on here, Todd Boyce says, I can't afford hardwood. Can you make money using nothing but pine?
That's all I sold a bunch of stuff out of pine. And we're talking thousands of dollars worth of stuff out of pine for several years. So, yeah, you can make money with pine. All right. Our featured product from the...
and now the Chronicle comes in two different finishes.
2 different versions.
You can't really well, I mean, like some of you may have got the matte finish and some of you may have the
Let me
shinier
switch
finish.
the camera here.
Hardback and spiral.
All right, so we have a hardback version if you want a more premium version, and it has the spine on it. So it's like a rigid
The
book.
fireplace is in the way.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the way.
Let me jump down here and just do it this way then. That way the book's not on fire.
That was funny.
All right, there we go. This is the Woodworkers Chronicle. We got 2 versions. The hardback, they're identical on the inside, but the spiral bound a lot of people like for the shop because they can lay it flat, they can fold it over on itself, and there's a little message from me on the front, and then there's also like some quick reference stuff in the front of it as well for woodworking, and then conversion charts, and then you get into the kind of the plan of action. I love goal setting. We've been talking about goals tonight. Set your goals, and then also kind of finding your why, and then a little encouraging scripture there. And then you get into your customer book. This is where you keep up your orders. You keep up with cut lists. So if you need to remake that product, material list, description of product, make some notes, keep up with their payments if they're making payments on their product. There's like 35 of those in here. So you keep up with 35 customers. And then close to the back, you have dot grid and square grid. So you can keep up with your sketches or your product things, or, make your drawings of your woodworking projects so you can keep up with those. And what I like about this is you can always reference back to it. Profit and loss statement, all that good stuff in there. Now, there's 2 versions on the website. You can just go to faithvalleytools.com to check it out. And, and you can grab you one of these. Now, these are, the spirals are selling out pretty quick. We only got a little over 100 left, I think. Mm-hmm. Then we have to order some more. If we get low, we'll order some more. But we're proud of this.
Hotmail, that fireplace was just something he had on the screen.
My bad.
He's just goofball. That's all.
It was
Mad
for
Dog,
the fireside chat.
Yeah. Mad Dog, if you ordered one yesterday or today, it'll be picked up in the morning. We had to wait for, so I've ordered sleeves for them to go in just to kind of help them in shipping, and everything keeps getting delayed
Stuff
everywhere.
Coming to us is getting delayed too.
Yeah. Udamaster 18 wants to know, what do they cost?
Okay, so if you go to faithvalleytools.com, you can look right here. The spiral bound is $29.99, and the hardback is $34.99, and we're literally paying $5 more per book, so that's why they went up $4 or $5. I mean, you can also pick up board butter, and we got card scrapers on there. But I want to point one more thing out while we're here. If you go to the tools section in Masca pocket hole jigs, these are on sale for 2 more days until March 14th, and then the sale goes away. This one is discounted. This is Matt Outlaw's recommended bundle. That's my bundle. This is discounted 10%. So you're getting 10% off right there. These are discounted, but you can also get an additional 10% off on these 4 products. Not this one because it's already discounted plus all the extras. But use the code MASSCA, MASSCA 10 when you check out with these 4 bundles or 4 products here. You'll get 10% off those. So that sale will end March 14th. So 2 more days.
That's awesome, Udamaster. Let us know whenever you're ready for it. So, Mr. Clark, we've had other people say that we should get a laser too. I think one of the problems with the laser is space. But if we can build a shop, then we could actually start looking into other things like that. And we would love to look into other items like that also. Once we can. Right now, the Chronicles are taking up. We've converted our dining room to a shipping and inventory room, and it's a small.
It's a breakfast nook.
It's a breakfast nook, yeah. And so it's rough. I don't think we could handle another product in stock just yet. I've got a cabinet coming to help me.
Depends on what product.
But we do have a product in the works. Somebody wanted to know if they could have any clues or a hint at what the next tool for the the business would be. The next product is not necessarily, it's not a tool.
Well, there is a tool in the works.
But there is a tool in the works also.
I'll tell you what it is. I've got some rulers that are really good quality rulers with ruler stops, stainless steel. I'm just waiting on them to send me a quote, which they've already told me about what it's going to cost, so I know we're probably going to do it. And then after that, we have to order it, and it takes like 2 to 3 months to get them in. And I have to order 1,000 at a time. So There's going to be a
But the
bunch.
next project that we're working on for the next product, I think it's going to be really cool. And we're hoping to start on it really soon.
Yep.
So we've
But
already
it's just a
talked
process. It's like anything else. We're just, you know, we kind of try to fill
Bye,
a
Mr.
need
Clark.
there that wasn't there. This is what the Chronicle is, the realization of a need I had when I started, was keeping track of orders and referencing back to that order, because I would have Jane Doe would order an end table, right? And I would quote her a price, and then she would pay me the price. And then 3 months later, Jane Doe's friend would want the same end table. And I was like, what did I
It
charge
was
her?
rough.
And so having that written plus your cut list, be able to replicate that product, that's why this came about, is one of the main reasons it came about. And she had a lot of input on this, how to lay it out and different things that go into this to make it better.
I actually created a huge one on the floor.
We basically whiteboarded this thing, man. We had a big poster boards down, and we cut out like sections like customer quotes, where she cut out customer quote section and cut list. Like we laid the pages out old school style and got it just like we want it, took pictures of it and sent it to the designer. So
Randy, it's okay, better late than never. Randy Ross is here. He's the one we were talking about earlier that made the products. Damon, coffee would be super cool. The only thing is, I don't think we could ever make it taste better than Caribou.
You love that Caribou now.
I love my Caribou coffee. I love Caribou.
Norm Sandy says, I would like to give customers a sample of board butter. What options do you have? We have a 6-pack and a 12-pack of our Bandit board butter. It's 2-ounce cans. We have 4-ounce cans, too, that are individually sold.
No, Damon.
But there's 6 and 12-ounce, or 6 and 12 packs of the board butter that's in 2-ounce cans, perfect for giving to customers to keep their cutting boards conditioned, that's the exact purpose of those.
Not Board said, my wife is the reason I can remember prices. She made a spreadsheet for everything I've ever sold.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is
cool.
awesome.
It's a good idea.
God is good, said no, Damon. Damon, you're going to get yourself in trouble over that. I promise you, if you come after me with some of that stuff, it will be the last time you ever speak to me.
That's hilarious.
Have Caribou do a private label.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
That would be good.
Caribou coffee is so good.
We love the Caribou. It's good.
I got him addicted to it.
It's good. It's good
Damon
coffee.
said he stays in trouble. That's funny. Well,
I think that's it.
I think we're done.
We've done our.
Somebody asked about the internet.
It's been better tonight.
They asked how the internet was looking on the grid.
It looks good.
Everything looks good. We really think that and we even
They replaced the cable.
I stayed on my iPad tonight, and
our youngest son played on his internet. So
he said, "Can I stay on the internet tonight?" I think everything works.
So we'll see.
Everything. There's Mo, Shorty here, creeping in here like a creeper. All right.
Well, y'all catch y'all next week, Lord willing.
Y'all have a good week.
See ya.
Good night.